If you're still spanking your child once a week, or if you're still catching yourself screaming at your child once or twice a week, this video is for you. If you listen and if you really gain an awareness of what's being shared here, it has the potential to help you drastically shift those patterns of spanking and screaming at your children, and also of being mean to yourself, right? Our self-talk, our inner speech, the way that we treat ourselves on the inside plays a critical role in how we respond to life and how we react to and treat and speak to others. If you want the link to the How to Parent from Peace Now course that I created, just drop the word freedom below and I will provide you with that link. It's a course that helps us parent from our peace and drop the patterns of spanking and screaming. It's also a membership that has no membership fees, meaning that you invest one time, small fee, and it gives you access to any of the 4 live workshops as well that we have every month. We're going to talk about being possessed and how it relates to parenthood. So my name is Michelle Bowen, and I am a peaceful parenting mentor and a parent empowerment coach. I have been supporting parents now for a little over 3 years as we use parenthood strategically and methodically to practice the art of keeping our heart open and parenting from our peace and living from our peace, right? Using parenthood to help us drop the patterns that have been looping for many generations of spanking and screaming. So I just support parents as we continue to do what's already happening, which is we are all collectively and individually leveling up in our awareness of ourselves as love, as peace. All right, so let's talk about being possessed and how it leads to us spanking and screaming at our children, right? So what I want to invite you to do is to notice that any time that you have ever spanked or screamed at your child, prior to doing so, there was a thought. There were thoughts prior to you spanking and screaming at your child. And those thoughts, my friends, were not positive, kind, and optimistic thoughts. They were not joyful thoughts. They were not peaceful thoughts. Any time that you have ever spanked or screamed at your child, instead of being aware of the thought that came about, that also had an emotion attached to it, we identified as that thought. It's almost as if that thought possesses us and takes over and takes control of our ability to respond to life. Example, child breaks a cup in the kitchen on accident, breaks a glass. Depending on the thought that you are thinking at that time, depending on whether or not you are being yourself and just being peaceful and seeing that everything is okay, even though the cup just broke, or if you're thinking, depending on if that thought that you are thinking is positive, optimistic, or kind or not, is going to play a crucial role in how you respond to your child breaking that glass in the kitchen. If you are thinking something's wrong, it's a problem, they messed up, then those thoughts and the energy that comes with those thoughts is going to play a role and be the energy behind the words and actions you take in regards to what just happened. So anytime that you have ever spanked or screamed at your child, there were always thoughts prior to you taking those actions. And what we want to do, and what we're getting very skilled at doing, is being aware of those thoughts more often throughout the day, so that those thoughts and energies don't possess us and take over and parent our children for us, right? We don't want anger, rage, or shame or blame to be parenting our children, right? We want peace, optimism, being solution-oriented, love, compassion to parent our children, right? And that's really what you are at your core. So that's great. That's a relief. So that it's not so much about what do I do to parent from peace, love, and compassion. It's just pausing and being more aware of when those other energies that you don't want to parent your children from are present. The more that you practice being aware of those, the less they can possess you, the less a slave we become to them, and the more empowered we are, because the more that we're able to parent from ourself, our true self, and from the love and peace that you are. Because in pausing and becoming aware of those negative thought forms, you've created space between who you truly are and those thought forms, so they're not able to run the show anymore. So simplified, it's this awareness that I'm either consciously abiding as myself, I'm either consciously being myself, or I'm possessed. Or I'm possessed by an emotion, I'm possessed by rage, I'm possessed by anger, right? And then it can easily be said, well, no, Michelle, I'm not possessed by anger, I'm just angry. But anger is not who you are. Anger is not who you are. Anger is a word that we learned, first of all. Anger is not who or what you are. It's what we label an emotion. And an emotion is not what you are, which is why the emotion comes and goes, right? So we're not really angry. We might be experiencing anger, right? Aware of anger. But you're aware of the anger, right? Now, anger takes over. Anger takes over, runs the show, and parents our child, and anger spanks, and anger and rage will scream. Anger will do those things through this body when we are not being ourself, when we are not present, when we are not feeling peace or joy, when we are not feeling peace, when we are feeling anything else, that anything else, whatever it is running the show. And if you want peace to run the show, then we just have to prioritize being aware of all of those other energies and those negative thoughts. And we're going to naturally, being aware of those negative thoughts puts you back in the position of being yourself, because you're being aware of those thoughts. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. The moment that we are aware of the negative thoughts that are preceding the inspiration to spank or scream, the moment we become aware of the negative thought patterns, we're back. We're back to being ourself. Even if only for a brief moment, we're back. Because you're the one that's aware of it. And there's just a peace that's there when, even for a brief moment, there's just a peace that is there when you are aware of those thoughts instead of indulging in them, instead of giving them all of your energy and your attention, as if they're more than just a thought. They're just thoughts, and that's it. We make them more by giving them more of our attention and energy. So when our child does something that triggers us, there's always like a fork in the road gets created. And in that moment, you're at a choice point. Am I about to let anger, rage, and frustration parent my child right now in this moment, which can lead to spanking, screaming, and all sorts of things we end up feeling resentment, regret, and guilt for later? Or the other fork that pops up in that moment is, okay, I see all the thoughts popping up about what's wrong right now, and I just want to stay here and be aware of those thoughts so that I can gather myself and respond to my child positively, optimistically, and from just a more gentle space. And we can be more solution oriented about this and even create a game plan about how we can prevent this in the future, right? When something happens and something triggers you, there's always like a fork that's created, and you have two options of how you want to view this. So yeah, if you want a link to the course that has like 20 plus game plans, it also gains you access to joining 4 of the workshops that I hold monthly. You don't have to join all the 4 of the workshops if you don't want to. I just hold 4 of them, 4 spaces every month, for anyone who shows up and wants to jam out on, just wants to like level up together in parenthood and realize more peace together. And realize more ways that we can add more peace to our lives in general and with our children. Comment freedom below. Otherwise, not just otherwise, but also have an amazing day.